Tensions are high in Addis Abeba, the capital of Africa's second most populous country, Ethiopia. Sudan Army on the way to Addis Abeba from Fashaga Gondar. They might take Bahir Dar by Sunday.
Sudanese forces attack Ethiopian troops in Fashaga area. Destroyed Ethiopian military vehicles in Barkat settlement on June 28, 2022. Sudanese army launched a large-scale attack on the Ethiopian troops remaining inside the disputed border area of Fashaga on Tuesday, Sudan Tribune can confirm. The attack takes place after the murder of 7 Sudanese soldiers that had been captured by Ethiopian forces on June 22, and their bodies were displayed in the streets and their photos circulated on social media. Sudan Tribune reporter in the Gadaref said the Sudanese army retook Kalaleban and Barkat settlements and Tesfayadawi hills in the Fashaga. He further added that the Sudanese army captured dozens of Ethiopian troops. The army is now clearing a number of remaining small areas on the border, he further added. On Monday, the Ethiopian government said the Sudanese soldiers had been captured inside the Ethiopian territory and killed by militiamen. But the Sudanese army accused the Ethiopian army. The commander-in-chief of the Sudanese army Abdel Fattah al-Burhan pledged in statements he made in Fashaga to revenge. Sudanese army attack Ethiopian forces in Fashaga area. The Egyptian presidency said that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, who was visiting the Sultanate of Oman, spoke with al-Burhan and offered his condolences on the death of the martyrs of duty among the Sudanese soldiers. Sudan's armed forces fired heavy artillery during clashes in the disputed eastern region of Fashaga bordering Ethiopia, an Ethiopian official said, the latest salvo in a long-running feud over their shared border. Sudan was able to capture Jabal Kala al-Laban, an area near the contested border, on Tuesday following an artillery barrage and an air raid, according to an anonymous Sudanese military source speaking to Reuters news agency. On Monday, Ethiopia denied Sudan's accusation that its army had captured and executed 7 Sudanese soldiers and a civilian, instead blaming the killings on a local fighter group. Sudanese government sources said Sudan had filed a formal complaint with the United Nations Security Council over the killings. Sudan's army fired long-distance artillery from Monday morning until Tuesday afternoon, but nobody was injured, said Asefa Ashage, a senior security official in Ethiopia's Amhara region. 2 local residents said the Sudanese army had gained control of Jabal Kala al-Laban and had destroyed a military base there. It was unclear if the base belonged to the Ethiopian army or an allied fighter group. A Sudanese military spokesperson did not respond to a request for comment. Ethiopia's government spokesperson Lajes Tulu did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Ethiopian military officials referred Reuters to a statement issued on Monday that described a previous border clash, but did not comment on the reported shelling. In a statement, Sudan's military disputed what it said were reports of movements and the taking of prisoners. The quarrel over Fashaga, which lies within Sudan's international boundaries but has been settled by Ethiopian farmers for decades, has escalated in recent years alongside a diplomatic spat over Ethiopia's construction of a hydropower dam. Sudan's armed forces fired heavy artillery during clashes in a disputed eastern region bordering Ethiopia, an Ethiopian official said, the latest salvo in a long-running feud over their shared border. The African Union called for restraint Wednesday after clashes between Ethiopia and Sudan in a disputed border area. The tensions broke out after Sudan accused Ethiopia of executing 7 of its troops, which Ethiopia blamed on a local militia. The statement appealed for complete refrain from any military action, whatever its origins, and called for dialogue between Sudan and Ethiopia to resolve any dispute. Sudan on Tuesday captured Jabal Kala al-Laban, an area on the border, after using heavy artillery, a Sudanese military source told Reuters. Shaghi Abdulazim, a Sudanese political analyst, said a broader conflict is unlikely because both countries are politically and economically fragile and a conflict could have disastrous effects. He said if war happens, it will affect the humanitarian situation in both countries, resulting in an influx of refugees and displaced people. It would also further impact the situation in Djibouti, Somalia, and South Sudan amid an expected hunger crisis in the region. Sudanese journalist Abdelmaniam Aboudriz doubts the conflict will escalate. I don't think this will lead to broader conflict, it will continue to be small clashes here and there, he said. Always these small clashes are happening at the beginning of the rainy season in this area, because the farmers start cultivating their farms. The clashes have taken place around the Fashaga region, where land disputes between Sudanese and Ethiopian farmers have simmered for decades. Add France 24 to your home screen. Skip to main content. France 24 International Breaking News, Top Stories and Headlines. Live. Languages. News. Live News. France. Africa. Middle East. Americas. Europe. Asia Pacific. Business/tech. Sport. Culture. Infographics. Travel. Fight the fake. Sponsored contents. On TV. France 24 Live. See all shows. News. Accessibility. TV guide. On social media. Services. About France 24. France Media's Monde websites. Copyright 2022. Copyright France 24. All rights reserved. France 24 is not responsible for the content of external websites. Audience ratings certified by ACPM/OJD. Hashtag Paris attack trial. Hashtag war in Ukraine. France. Africa. Culture. Shows. Fight the fake. /live news. Alarm mounts over escalating Ethiopia-Sudan border tensions. Issued on June 29, 2022, 1654. Sudan and Ethiopia have long been at odds over the fertile farmland region of Fashaga. Sudan and Ethiopia have long been at odds over the fertile farmland region of Fashaga. Ashraf Shazli, AFP. 3 minutes. Addis Abeba, AFP, regional leaders voiced alarm Wednesday over escalating tensions between Ethiopia and Sudan in a disputed border area and appealed for dialogue to stem the crisis. Advertising. The calls by the African Union and another regional grouping followed claims by Khartoum that the Ethiopian army had executed 7 Sudanese soldiers and a civilian during a clash in the volatile Fashaga area last week. Allegations denied by Addis Abeba. Sudan announced Monday it would recall its ambassador to Addis Abeba over the incident in Fashaga, a fertile strip of land that has long been a source of friction between the two states. AU Commission Chief Musa Faki Mahamat is following with deep concern the escalating military tension between the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and the Republic of Sudan and deeply regrets the loss of life at their common border, the Pan-African body said in a statement. The chairperson appeals for complete refrain from any military action whatever its origin and calls for dialogue between the two brotherly countries to solve any dispute. Fashaga is a region of fertile farmland. The AU's concern was echoed by another regional bloc, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, which also called on the two countries to actively seek diplomatic means to find a lasting and sustainable solution on the matter. Perfidious act. Sudan on Monday accused Ethiopia of capturing the soldiers in Fashaga on June 22, announcing it was recalling its envoy and would lodge a complaint with the UN Security Council and regional organizations. The army, which has been in power since a coup in October 2021, vowed that the perfidious act will not pass. And on Wednesday, the military published photographs of the slain soldiers, along with their names and ranks. But Addis Ababa has in turn claimed that Sudanese forces had crossed into Ethiopian territory and that the casualties resulted from a skirmish with a local militia, denying its soldiers were in the area at the time.